Hey everybody, Texas Trucker here, Lance's Performance Standalone, Mopars.com. We're sitting here, I was starting to do a clip for a Ram Revival video. We had built the PTFE line, we used hot rod, a fuel hose, and then to test it, I actually had to go out and pick up some more Frigola stuff. So I've got this little Schrader valve here, I've got a black plug, that's this funky looking bigger piece, that's got an 1/8 inch NPT port for a test gauge. You can see all that in part 43 and 43 and a half on the Ram Revival. And I sort of had my stuff here to dismantle it, you know, and I threw in this item in that portion of the Ram Revival, and I thought, you know what, while I'm out here, this would be quick to do. I'm just going to try to knock out a nice, quick little video for you. So, ICT Billet, they're a company, they kind of, I guess, launched probably for LS swaps and stuff, which is not anything I do or have an interest in doing, but they also make some really cool stuff out of billet aluminum, and they make it in America, up in Kansas. If you recall back when we got that OEM engine stand, it was the really nice one, you know, that I can crank, that came in and was missing pieces and bent up really bad, so they just sent me another one free, so I'm not going to complain, right? But what I did on that one, we brought in an ICT Billet engine stand adapter. Basically on an engine stand, you know, you got like your 4 legs, you know, that come out and you just kind of swing them into place. Ditched those completely, didn't install them. I got a giant piece of billet that matches the bell housing for Mopar engines, which is awesome. That's a way sturdier connection. You can see my videos on that. I'll try to remember to link it. But when we come in with anything AN, whether it's AN or PTFE or whatever, if it's an aluminum fitting, I like to use aluminum wrenches. This is all I've got. I've got the Summit 6, that's what I've used for years and years. It's in great shape. This adjustable that I bought to be the companion for that on 6 and for other sizes or freak sizes like that test port, you know, that's not -6, all right? If you note, it's real nice and smooth. You still have the Summit logo intact. Everything looks good. It still functions pretty smooth, I have to say. That doesn't look so good, all right? It was the time I built cooler lines for the Challenger. I've had that video done for years, and I've just never released it because the truck started happening. But it got chewed up, and this isn't a deal where the finish is gone, and it's not a big deal. Like, I mean, that's like pitted, it's uneven surfaces, and I've determined that's like part of my problem when we do mar some of these fittings is from my adjustable. Now these individually are relatively cheap. Usually they're like color coded with most companies, right? The adjustables, you can spend a good chunk of money on them. I'm talking like $45 to $100 depending on what brand and what size range you've got. If you're mainly doing brake lines or you're only doing fuel lines, you can get by with something smaller. If you're going to jump up and start doing cooling system stuff, you know, like radiator hoses or water return or heater hoses, anything like that, you might have to splurge for one of the really expensive ones. And of course, AN fittings, you know, it's military type stuff, right? So it's -6, that would be 6/16, so 3/8, right? That's kind of what you're getting at. If it's 3-3, it would be 3/16. If it's -12, that would be 12/16, reduces down by way of 4 to 3/4, right? So long story short, what I did, I had such positive experience with their engine stand adapter. ICT Billet, still cranking this stuff out in America, up in Kansas, had this available. And if you're like, what is that? Well, boom, that's what that is. It was $49.99 for this entire set. Now, if I wind up needing anything bigger, if you're curious, it's 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, and this guy is 12. It's got that beautiful Made in the USA sticker on the front of that side. But if I wind up needing something bigger, you know, like a 1-inch, at that point in time, I'll buy that standalone, or we'll just get like a really big adjustable and hopefully keep it intact better than the soft jaws on that one. I am moving towards utilizing the Knipex Pliers Wrench, Stavilla's Pliers Wrench, Ghidorah Pliers Wrench for this type of stuff. The Knipex kind of takes the cake for the simple fact they have soft jaws, right? So the Stavilla and the Ghidorah have beautifully flat finished jaws. If you ever use your Pliers Wrench on anything rough, whether it's, you know, like a rusted nut or a bolt, or if you're just trying to grab something with it, if you do any damage at all to the jaws, that's going to be an imperfect surface, and you're going to have issues where you might mar your aluminum anodized fittings, right? With a Knipex, you could totally gum these things up, ruin them just the same way you would the Ghidorah, which granted, they're perfectly functional, just not good for anodized fittings if, this is a caveat, you're trying to keep them looking pristine. So the soft jaws, sadly, Ghidorah and Style Billet don't offer them. I'd love to see them do so, but I've ordered a 7-inch. It's been on order for many, many months now. It's actually there. They're just waiting on the soft jaws. So this is a 10-inch with the soft jaws. I think I have one more pair after this. If you note, though, you'll see like some pitting in it. And that's because if you don't have these hexes positioned perfectly, or if they slip a little bit, it'll just start to dig. Obviously, at some point in time, you're gonna run the issue. I mean, you can see how close that is to breaking through there. That'll give you a better look at it. When you break through, you've got, you know, a steel finish, and steel, of course, is harder than aluminum, and it will potentially mar the finish there. So you'll see some people use straight up wrenches on these and, you know, never scuff anything. Every video I've ever seen with anything AN or PTFE, it shows a guy just effortlessly spinning the wrenches. Maybe I'm an idiot, maybe I do things wrong. I know my stuff doesn't leak and it's functional and holds up over time, but when I build this or any of my AN lines in the past, it's a freaking struggle. Like, you don't just like spin it down, you know, like a brand new bolt into a nut or something. I mean, you have to put some serious effort into tightening that thing and getting the connection. I have the vice jaws, which I kind of think they're also sort of tearing things up, even though they're aluminum and from Earl's, which you would think price-wise would be like the cream of the crop. But you sit there and you spin this, and I mean, you have to put forth effort. It's not like what you see in the videos, and I don't know why people mislead you like that. And like I said, maybe I'm just incompetent, maybe I'm stupid, but for me personally, it doesn't work like what people show. So that's kind of my bread and butter, guys, sort of replacing this, because again, I guess somehow screwed this to the point of it, you know, it's functional. I could probably, truth be told, take this lower jaw off, and I don't know if I would mill that or maybe even just sand it and get it kind of back to flush and see if it would tear up. Always use an old fitting if you're testing things like that, just to see how it goes. But these are going to be a huge upgrade for me. Really, really cool little set. And then, like I said, if I need some freak size, I buy standalone. If I need bigger than 12, I can get that standalone. And again, for $49, you're getting, what, 6 wrenches? 49 into 6, that's roughly like 8 a pop. This is all billet. It's thick. And most importantly, it is made in the USA, up in Kansas by ICT. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these things open, and we'll take a close look at them, and that's basically all I've got for you. On second thought, since this is a short video, at least by my standards, I'm going to show you one of the reasons I like these so well now. We've got Knipex, Style Billet, you know, Viha. They're all great, but these just have bigger handles, and even with a tripod and camera in front of me, I effortlessly cut through plastic and stuff. Plus, the spring is there, there's the lock, takes up less space in the toolbox. So, really, I mean, off camera, I'm using that stuff all the time. I genuinely do switch between them, but oh, baby, that's nice. ICT, thank you for these wrenches. So, Dash 12, I have no need for that right now, but in the future, who knows? And like I said, even if you do something as simple as like dress up your heater hoses, you could run into a scenario where you need a Dash 12 wrench, right? So trying to do these in ascending order for you. This is the ICT 10, again 10/16. We're reduced down to 5/8. Just a out of the bag beautiful finish on these things. So I'll set that down. It's also really easy to put your name in since it's aluminum, which is awesome. It won't look as professional when I etch it in, but it'll be similar. Now the Dash 8 here should get quite a bit of work because it should be used with my PTFE lines I'm planning to use for the Charger and the Duster. My bread and butter guy right here, the Dash 6, we're going to set him down off to the side. Not done yet. We got 4, which again, that would reduce down. This would be like a 1/4 inch, if you will. Let's set that guy in place. And then we've got 3 somewhere in here. And this, of course, anytime you do something with, you know, your anodized fittings, if you're doing brake lines or something, that's typically where you'd be having 3 and 4. Granted, you know, maybe if you do like small engine stuff, I don't want to leave those folks out. You could easily use 3 and 4 where I'm using like 6 and 8, you know, for fuel lines. So keep that in mind. Now, this right here, again, Super nice in-hand finish. There's no oil or residue. There's no burrs anywhere. Even here, you know, where they've drilled it out. Why do they do that to AN wrenches? I couldn't tell you. A, it looks cool. B, it makes them lighter, even though they're aluminum and already light. You can hang them, aesthetics, whatever it may be. I really don't know. But I like to put speed holes when I fabricate stuff, so, you know, it's kind of my way of looking at the world. But check out this finish. I don't know that the camera is going to show it, but just super, super nice. I mean, that is just smooth, smooth, smooth. It's almost like running your hand over flat sheets of glass or something. So, very, very happy there. Now, right here, let's check this out. Compare it to our Summit one. Almost identical, and I mean, you know, they kind of should be, right? But check that out. There is the business end of both wrenches. Not gonna lie, I do like them being, you know, color coded and anodized, especially, you know, that way, like over the years, if you just use the snot out of these, which this has had significant use, the Summit and 6 is still fine. But, you know, like, let's say that wore off, you know, and you've got, you know, like a kid, nephew, you know, whatever, you know, wife, husband, whatever your story is, you'll be like, yeah, grab the blue one, you know, type of a deal. So that is always a perk. But yeah, these are really, really nice. And again, for the price point, I just don't see how you can go wrong here. And most importantly, again, these are made in America. So 6 and 8 will, for all intents and purposes of the foreseeable future, be my most frequently used. So I'm excited to put this guy into use, and it's going to start right here because I got to get that Schrader valve out and get this test port and fitting out. So that's it. That is the video. I picked these up from Summit. If I remember, I'll put the link down in the description for you. I make nothing off of that. It is there for your convenience and for your convenience only. $49.99 was the price, and again, super, super good value in my opinion. Plus they look awesome. So as long as you do stuff with, you know, AN stuff, I would recommend you have some sort of wrenches. Even if you just, you know, spend 20 bucks and get like one of the cheap adjustables, do something, you know. And then you would need a supporting mate, so whether that's one or, you know, like a pliers wrench with soft jaws type of a thing. Try to keep your fittings decent, you know. At some point in time, especially like hashtag because race car, you just get to a point where you don't care, especially if it's on and off all the time. You're going to be in time crunches, you got, you know, eliminations coming up, or you had something go wrong in, you know, final round of testing, you got the first round coming up, or it happens between rounds. At that point in time, you don't care about the finish, but, you know, when you do the initial install, or if it's for a customer, similarly, if it's just like a show car type of a deal, invest in some good AN wrenches. You will be glad that you did. But yeah, so that's what we picked up from Summit for this particular application here, and sort of to take the place of this guy and expand my collection for some more sizes. Again, 8. Might be seeing that guy in the future. That's all I'm going to tell you. So that's it. Hope this helped you out a little bit. Hopefully you learned something. Again, this is my second product from ICT, and I have zero complaints about either one. Just, again, really, really nice finish out of the bag. So for anyone that does anodizing at home, you could totally, you know, if you've perfected it or you want to try it, you know, you could buy these individually pretty affordably too. But if you want to experiment with stuff, you want all of your stuff to be baby blue, dark blue, midnight blue, chameleon, whatever, you know, dip it, see how it turns out. But if you prefer the natural finish and you don't like, you know, these like colored anodized, color coded stuff, this is your ticket. They look and feel amazing in hand. So very, very happy with this purchase. Hopefully it holds up and serves me well here. So I'll quit rambling. I got to get this thing torn apart, get back to work on the truck. Very, very excited about that. Motor should be going in this weekend, provided I quit doing stuff like this. So with that said, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. It'll keep you up to date with all of the latest. If you ring the bell, jump your truck across the creek, YouTube just might notify you. Otherwise, Saturday, you can expect tool content. Wednesday, automotive stuff. And it's kind of the gist of it. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three. You can find us at Lone Star Mopars. Website, as always, lonestarmopars.com. With that said, I'm going to tear this test fittings out of here and get this installed on the truck. So hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.